Hi again, this is Rick at Roaring Toyz. Today I'd like to walk you through the lowering link install on this 2011 Kawasaki ZX-10. I want to show you a few things that are unique to this lowering link here that you're not going to see on other lowering links. And basically this lowering link is going to be used on your ZX-10s, I want to say 2011 up Z1000s and the Ninja 1000s. Before we get started installing this on the motorcycle, I want to point out some unique features of this lowering link that are going to be important to you as far as the install and getting it set safely. First thing is you've got an adjustment window in here where you can see the threads of this bolt up in here. You've got a max setting right here, and you want to be able to see the threads. As you unscrew this and change the ride height, you want to be able to see the threads in this window, and there's a maximum point of no return. Don't get it past there. You're getting into the danger zone. There's no reason to be there. And one of the things that would put you in that point might be, you're trying to get some adjustment, you just don't have the adjustment you need. One of the other unique features is this is also shipped out in its lowest setting. Well, maybe low is too low, so you want to get it more somewhere between your stock setting and being low. You take this piece and you turn it right around. There, now you've got a whole bunch more adjustment. And this will get you, when it's in this position, this closer position, it's going to get you, you're going to head back towards stock ride height. So if the bike's too low, you're going to flip that around and turn it on. Again, as you screw this on here, you're going to see your threads appear in the window here. This is your safe zone in here. Also, this is marked, it's marked max on both ends, so no matter which way you got this, you can see where you're supposed to be. And when you get your preferred setting, you're just going to turn this nut right here and lock everything down. Make sure everything's nice and tight when it's in there. Before we get started, let's go ahead and get our front end secured on our motorcycle. You may be working with a lift, you may be working on the floor, I don't care how you're working, but let's get it tied down good and secure. We're going to be jacking up this motorcycle, and it's going to become unstable in the rear, so let's have this front end nice and tight and stable. Before we get started with this install, I'd like to make mention about the exhaust system on this motorcycle. Stock exhaust could pose a slight problem during the install. Due to the fact that you're going to have to remove these bolts. You may have an interference problem removing the bolts out of the link. Different remedies for that. Possibly removing the linkage here will help you some. Really depends on the exhaust. Aftermarket exhaust systems are going to vary also on getting these bolts out. On this particular install, we're fortunate. We have a turbo bike here. We have no exhaust interference issues whatsoever, so it's going to make a pretty easy install for us today. All right, then let's get ready to do this install here. First thing we're going to do is we're going to get a jack under the bike here. I don't care if it's on the engine, the frame, whatever you can hit here to get a nice surface here to jack, and we don't want to be anywhere near the suspension, because what we're going to try to do is unload the suspension. We don't want any weight on it in either direction, whether it be the tire hanging down or the bike pushing up. So let's just get the suspension unloaded on this so we can get the stock link out of there. And what you're looking for is the sweet spot here where you're kind of, I can say right there I'm a little too high. I want to get just so it's just barely touching. We can get that link out. There's like no load on it. So let's just try that and see what we got. I've already got these bolts loosened here, so we're just going to reach up in here and get these out. Just pull the nuts off here. Because we've got the suspension unloaded, these should pull right out. If they don't pull right out, you better either go up a little bit or you better go down a little bit, either which way. I'm right where I have to be. Link bolt comes out just fine. So I have this upper one up here. Let's get that one out. Show you that the link will now drop right out. Like I said, this is where you're going to run into your difficulties. Going to be getting these bolts out due to exhaust. Any exhaust bracketry that might be in the way, especially with the stock exhaust. Now I want to show you on these links here that what you'll be doing is you remove your sleeves right here. You're going to place these in your new link. Pull this one out, set it in there. Set that aside. Got your got those in there. The other thing you're gonna notice too, when you open this out of the package, you're gonna see it's at the lowest setting. So that might wind up being too low for you. Maybe you want to use that as a starting point and go from there. If you want a nice low setting, if you wanted something more towards the stock end, you'll probably want to unscrew this as I showed before, turn it around and start from that point. But you definitely will have lots of adjustability on this link. There'll be plenty for you to work with, so it won't be a problem. So we're going to start off, we're going to say we've got a short rider on here who really wants this bike lowered down, so we're just going to start in one of the lower settings here. I'm going to go ahead and place this in here, and if you'll notice when you're installing this that you're probably going to have it turned in this position with this piece right here facing, you know, towards your linkage. So we'll just go ahead and we'll put that up in there. That's situated first. Okay, got that in there. Now we're going to have quite a bit of adjustment room here to get this situated. It's going to be a very low adjustment. Let's go ahead. We're going to bring this down to where I can get that lower bolt in there. See, it's coming down now. I'll bring it down more. This is quite an extreme amount here, but you may need to lower it quite a bit depending on your rider. Still coming down here a little bit more. We're pretty close right there. Go ahead and get our bolt in if we can there. Like I said, if it doesn't go in, you either may have to go a little bit lower, or you might have to go up just a little bit, but you'll find it. I don't think low's the answer, just go up just a little bit. There it is. There's your setting. So now you've got your bolts in here. At this point, you know, you might want to check your ride height and see where you're at, throw your rider on it, see what he thinks. You know, if you need to go up, you can go up. Go ahead and put your retaining nuts back on here so that's nice and safe before you start adjusting stuff. And like I said, if your overall height settings are too low, you want to take this link back out, flip the top part over and start from that point. Now when you've got your ride height all set where you want it, there's locking nuts on this link. You want to go ahead and lock those down, tighten them up real good. That way your link is locked nice and tight. It's not going to loosen up, go up, down, move around, or do anything. Then go ahead and take your wrenches that you use to remove your link bolts and go ahead and tighten that up. Okay. If you get in this situation, we've really lowered the bike a lot. Got a problem, can't get the jack out. It's real simple to fix. Just go ahead and we're going to jack this up. Because you could get your jack caught, especially if you're going real low. Get that rear end up a little bit. Just slide a board under there. Go ahead and let the jack down. And we can now retrieve our jack. Now, you can either roll the bike off the board, that's fine. That's what you want to do. If you feel like, well, no, I don't want that board in there, find another spot. I don't care if it's under the suspension, wherever it is now, as long as it's not going to hurt anything. Go ahead and jack it up, pull your board out if you feel you need the board out. If not, just roll it off. Okay, now that you've got your rear end lowered, you might want to consider lowering the front, especially if you're this low like we just did it. You're going to have to lower the front probably quite a bit to match up with it. One of the things that's changed over the years is forks have changed. And it used to be that, you know, and I see guys, they've got the forks adjusted way up here to lower the front end, and you used to be able to do that. Now these forks, a lot of them are tapered. You're not going to have that kind of adjustment room. If you go to adjust it and bring it up, you might find that it tapers down. Now your clamp's not going to hold that. It's going to be a very dangerous situation if you are not paying attention. So be very careful. Make sure that you have the proper diameters on the top and bottom clamp, that you're clamping down on a good, fat surface area, and it has a taper on you. Just be very, very aware of that. It's very serious. And last but not least, you get lowered, especially if you're going anything extreme. You can lower some and get by with a stock kickstand, but as you lower, the bike's going to stand up straighter and straighter, and it's no longer going to become functional. So you either want to do a modification to this kickstand, or you could buy our Roaring Toyz kickstand, which is already, lowered, custom billet, nice looking kickstand on there, and that'll solve your kickstand problems.